Okay. So what we have seen in the morning class is that we have and we have seen examples of both of these. We have communicated with our friend Vidushi, and we have seen that even in simple patterns, we can make small mistakes if our understanding of the pattern or the communication of the pattern with our friend is incorrect. Then we have seen a turtle trained computer where we used the turtle language, which morning, that is forward, left, wait. These were the commands. There are many commands knows. These were the commands that we used, and using these, we were able to write a simple program which was drawing a square. So this is what we had done in the morning. Are there any questions till this part, or otherwise we are going to take this forward? Okay. So if there are no questions on this, what I am going to ask you to do, and as we said in the morning, this is about you doing things. You may draw a triangle or draw a pentagon. And while you may say that I don't have a turtle trained computer, that is okay. Your goal is to make that turtle draw a triangle. You know the commands that the turtle understands, and you should be writing the commands of this form. So the way we have written it for the square, you should be writing these commands on a piece of paper. Do not type it in the chat window. All of you can take a few seconds, try to write these commands, and then somebody should tell me these commands. We will pick out volunteers again, like what we did in the morning. So spend some time, write down similar commands that you will write for drawing making the turtle draw a pentagon and a triangle. These are two different programs that you are going to write down. Yeah, so I give all of you say 30 seconds to think about this and write down the appropriate commands in your notebooks. So I should bring to your attention that you don't have to write down this main program, turtle, sim, and so on. The important commands are this forward, left, and so on. So it depends on how much you should make your turtle turn and so on. That is the most important and the interesting thing of drawing this triangle or a pentagon. Okay, so any volunteers for the triangle? Before you say out, please please introduce yourself by telling your name and your branch.
Hello, ma'am. Ma'am, I'm Harshit from Naval Architecture and Ocean Engineering.
Okay, good
Ma'am, for
afternoon,
the
Ashwat. Yeah.
triangle, first we'll forward 100, and
Mm-hmm.
then we will turn left 120,
Okay,
then again forward 100, left 120, and then again forward 100. This will make an equilateral triangle.
okay, upside 100. That's what you mean.
Yeah. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, thank you, Ashwat, for your answer. Anybody
Ma'am,
else has a
I'm Harshit.
sorry?
Harshit.
Harshit. Harshit. Okay, sorry. The person that okay. Harshit. Thank you, Harshit, for your answer. Anybody else has another answer or any other answer? Okay. So, what is your logic, Harshit, in drawing? I mean, saying that it is 120. Why did you choose 120 for this, and how did you arrive at this 120?
Ma'am, just using basic geometry like seeing the direction in which the turtle is moving, and then in which direction I have to turn it to make it a 60-degree angle.
Okay, so you want the internal angle to be 60 degrees. So what is the turn that you are giving to the turtle?
Ma'am, 120 degree.
Right. So, I mean, in terms of what does the 120 degrees represent for the triangle? It is the external angle, right?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And so the external angle is what you are making the turtle turn. And how did you derive this external angle? I mean, what basic concept of geometry did you use?
Ma'am, 180 minus the angle I want of that triangle.
Okay. Okay. Anybody else wants to give any other answer, or do you have any other?
360 by 3.
Total angle, external angle will be 360 for each polygon. So we can divide that the number of sides times we wanted it.
Okay. So again, who was it? Who is answering?
Ashwin, no, Ashwin.
Ashwin. Okay, Ashwin. Yeah. So you have used that the sum of the external angles of the polygon is 360, and you are dividing it by the sides. Is that right? Okay. Okay. Excellent. So all of you are seeing this pattern now, and now it is not difficult for you to draw any polygon if I tell you the number of sides, right? So I already see that in the chat message. Okay, so there is some disturbance. If somebody is unmuted, can they mute themselves? Okay, so it's gone. So I already see that in the chat message, somebody has written the this thing for a pentagon, which looks correct. Again, so this is written to me privately, but I hope most of you see the logic that you are now, you know that if 360 is the sum of the external angles and you know the sides of the polygon that you want to draw, then you just divide 360 by the number of sides, and that is the angle that you get for turning the turtle. Once you get that and you know the side of the turtle, side of the polygon, you are going to be able to write down this code for any polygon that you want to write or you want to draw. So this is precisely what Harshit told us earlier. And then there are some of you who have written to me on the chat message. Okay, so so are there questions about this part of drawing the triangle versus the pentagon, triangle and the pentagon? Any questions on the code that is shown on the slide? Okay, assuming that there are no questions, I'll go forward. And so there are some questions in the chat that I see. Is there a static? So Karthik, can you explain what is the question? What is static? Okay, so I request people to not possibly write private questions, because otherwise people are not, everybody is not seeing it. So
Ma'am, actually, I think for some of us, we can't chat publicly. There is no option. We can only chat privately.
oh, is that so? So you
Ma'am,
cannot.
the chat is restricted to private messages only.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay.
Just for some
So
people, some people are able
Okay,
to.
I didn't know that. So I will change the setting for the next meeting. I won't go into changing the settings right now, but that's fine. So I suggest that when we take a logical break, you can unmute yourself, ask a question, and then so that everybody hears it. But for today's class, it's fine. You can ask me these questions. I'll try to take this up. Okay, so okay, so there are some questions on the chat. I'll try to take them. Uh, is it right or can we change it? Okay, so there is an initial direction to the turtle. Somebody is asking that. So we will assume that there is a default direction to the turtle. We right now will not go into changing that. So let's not get into changing the direction of the initial direction of the turtle. There's another question which says that can we type everything in a loop, and that is something that we are going to. In fact, that is something which we are going to go towards. So as you see, we are writing a set of statements which are repetitive. For the triangle, there are fewer repetitions, but for a pentagon, you already have to write 5 statements of going forward and 4 statements of the turns, which we would like to avoid. So what we would like to ask is there something that we can do which will allow us to use loops, what you are asking? And since most of you have already seen loops, you would like to use that. In fact, turtle gives us a command which we saw in the morning, which we said repeat, and this is a very useful command which allows us to repeat a set of tasks, repeat the same set of tasks again and again. So given this, we are going to draw a decagon, and now given that we have other commands, there is also a write, but we are not using the write for the moment, the turn to write, but we are going to use the repeat command. And using this repeat command, we are going to draw a decagon. So the decagon has 10 sides, and therefore the angle that we are going to ask our turtle to move to is 36, the same way we did the calculation. And instead of writing this forward 100, left 36 that we would have written repeatedly several number of times, we are now able to put it in a repeat, under a repeat statement, just like what we did in the morning, that we asked Vidushi to repeat a set of commands, that is draw 8 asterisks and then repeat this several number of times. Similarly, we are going to do this. So this repeat, inside this there is an integer which tells that how many times you should repeat this. When you repeat this set of commands, it is going to do forward 100 followed by left 36, then it will wait and it will repeat this set of commands 10 number of times. So this is the meaning of repeat. All of us can understand that, and in fact you would have seen loops which are much more sophisticated than this. And after all of this is done, it is again going to wait for us for 5 seconds and then show us the completed decagon and then complete the whole program, right? So this is the meaning of the statement, the construct or the command repeat, that is also provided for the turtle. That is, the turtle understands the meaning of repeat. So let's go ahead and type out this program, see this program in action, and make sure that it indeed draws a decagon, right? So I'm going to stop sharing the slides and go to the turtle trained computer and then type out these things, right? Okay. So I think I forgot to share my screen. Just give me a minute. Yeah. So Naveen, can you confirm that you can see the whole screen and you can see the ID that I am using?
Yes, ma'am, I can see your screen.
Anybody is
But
fine. I mean, anybody can confirm that they can see what I'm writing in the Turtle trained computer, and you can see that I'm typing a program.
Yes, ma'am, we can
yes,
see it.
ma'am, we can see.
Okay. Is it readable? I mean, is the font okay?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, so just what we have written in the slide, I'm just going to type it out. And this wait is something that we will, I mean, it depends on how long you want it to wait. Doesn't matter. I'm just going to change it a little bit. Okay, so this is exactly the program that we have written on the slide. And I'm going to now, there is a compile and run here, which will compile the program first. We'll come to what does it mean by compile. I hope all of you are seeing the execution of it in the black window that has popped up. And now it is the Turtle Stream Simulator has started. Yeah, I think the side has become too large for the screen that I have. So it is not showing you the whole thing. What I will do is I will possibly change the side to be a little smaller, but I hope everybody saw the execution. I'm going to change the side a little smaller so that it shows up there. Yeah. And this is where the program stops, and it's allowing us to view it for 5 seconds. And that's where the program stops. So this is how you can use the repeat command or the loop to keep doing the same set of tasks again and again. And this is how you could draw polygons of different sides, and therefore you can also try to draw an object which looks almost like a circle. Okay, any questions here? I have not seen what is in the chat. Okay, can we change the speed? Change the speed is what we are doing using the wait, right? Or slowing it down. Again, can you change it in the way it moves? I am not sure. It must be possible, but I am not sure how to change it. Okay, so having said this, what we have done is taken some, the square that we drew in the morning, converted it already into a, I mean, we know how to write a program for a triangle. We know how to do it for a general polygon. And already some of you, as you suggested, this loop or a repeat is something which is very helpful. So the turtle, as I said, it is something which is a wrapper over C++. So therefore, it can not only do what is this turtle, but of course do whatever you can do using your basic programming language, which is, let's say, C or C++, which you have learned. And therefore, turtle can also, so the turtle, meaning the turtle trained computer, can print messages like hello world using a command which you can see here on the screen, which is cout. So cout is something which is very specific to C++. Those of you who have seen C++, you would know that cout is something which is specific to C++. But it doesn't matter what is the command to print it out. In C, it is printf. In Java, it can be something else, but it doesn't matter. It is some command that we understand and the computer also understands. So when we want it to print hello world, there is some command that we tell and the computer executes that command. So this in this turtle trained computer, if you want to print text messages, then it will print out. Then you need to use this cout, and these two arrows as well as the message that you want to print out. So this is what this is how you can print out messages. The same way, exactly the same way you would have done it in C++. Okay. Add a turtle. If you just this thing, then you do not need this turtle sim. Okay. So yeah. So where to type the commands in your computer? Can you oh, so if the voice is breaking, is it better now? So is the voice better? Somebody confirm. In between it there will be some these things. Okay. So there was a question where to type the commands. Can somebody confirm what was the question? Okay, if the voice turns out to be still, if it is breaking, then I'll turn off my video as some people have suggested. Yeah. Please tell me if the voice is still.
It's fine now. It's fine.
It's fine now.
Sure. Okay, thank you. Okay, so what somebody is asking possibly is that how do you get this kind of an environment in your machine? We will tell you that. In fact, once I upload the slides, and even if you search simple CPP on online, you will see how to get it for your machine, which is either a Windows or a Linux or a Mac machine. There are clear instructions on how you can install it, and it will allow you to get this same interface. On Linux, there is a slight difference. You will have to do it on the command line, but it is fairly simple. Okay, so having said this, if you want just text only messages, because text only prints that the way we had it initially in the first part of the class in the morning, there is something which is cout, and cout will print whatever message you give, provided you give these correct arrows, 2 arrows in the pointing to the left direction. So assuming that cout is going to print this, print the character or print the string that you are giving to it, let's read this program. You will observe that it still has the include simple CPP main program, but now there is no turtle sim because we are not asking the turtle to draw anything on the board. So it is a simple program, and I would like each one of you to execute this on your papers or your notebooks and tell again the private chat messages that you have been sending to me, what does the program print out? All of us understand what is repeat. You should see that there are 2 repeats that are used, and they are used in a particular way. Okay, so I'm looking at the messages that everybody is writing. Okay, so there are a lot of answers. There are answers which are just printing one single character, which are printing. Okay. Okay, good. So all of you are running the thing manually, which is a very good exercise. Programming is, although it is about computers, you must train yourselves to write program on a piece of paper, be able to hand run it and see what the program is doing and so on. So good, many of you have gotten it right. The initial answers had some difficulties, but then now I see that most of you get it. So there is an initial A that is printed, and then there is a repeat that is happening 5 times. So inside the repeat, what is happening? There is a B, and then inside that there is a repeat again. So this is going to
Ma'am,
be
the screen
repeated.
isn't visible, ma'am. Ma'am, the screen you're sharing.
Oh, is it? But the slide is not visible to you?
No, ma'am.
No, ma'am, it disappeared right a few
Yes,
moments.
Oh,
Ma'am, just now it
we can't-
disappeared.
Just now, ma'am, it is not visible.
okay, sure. So thank you for telling me. I'll just stop sharing and okay, so I'm going to try stopping my video for some time. Maybe there is some bandwidth issue. I'm just going to stop my video, but I am going to share the slide because that is much more important. Okay. Okay, is the slide visible now?
Yes,
Yes.
ma'am.
Okay, great.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so as we see, there is an initial A that is printed that is not in the repeat at all. So that is the A will be printed only once. But then once we go inside this repeat, there is repeat something 5 times. What is that 5 times? Inside that you are going to print a B. After that you are going to print 2 C's because there is a repeat 2 times, print out a C, and then there is a D. So B, C, C, D is a thing that we print inside this, but this itself is printed 5 times because there is a repeat here. So many of you have given this correct answer, and I think this is written exactly on the right side of the slide, which is A followed by B, C, C, D. But this B, C, C, D is repeated 5 times, which is what this repeat tells us. So we should be able to parse these programs once we understand the meaning of these commands, and then be able to predict the output of such programs that are written, which are very simple programs. But nevertheless, it is important to note that there is not only 2 repeats, but they are one is nested inside the other. So again, if you recall your loops from your 12th standard CS or IT, you will see that you can use loops one inside each other, and they can get a little tricky. But this is a simple example of repeat being used inside, one repeat being used inside the other. So any questions or comments here?
Excuse me, ma'am.
So
How do we print them in different lines?
So what is it that you want to print in different lines?
Ma'am, the loop part.
Okay, but so that is what. So what is the desired output? Can you describe in
Ma'am,
words
just
what
like
is the
A in
desired?
the first line and all the rest in the second line.
Okay, so again, is it Siddharth that is asking the question?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, so good. So it's a nice question, Siddharth. So you want that A, then you want a new line, or you don't want a new line?
Ma'am, I want a new line after A, like A in the first line, space, and then the next line.
Okay, so BCD again, BCD and so on, right? Okay,
Yes, ma'am.
so so people have already told that you can use an end L or a new line /n, which you can use. So A/n, if you write, you will get a new line. But the more important part is where in the repeat will you put a new line? That is the more important part. If you put it after every character, that is, if you put, so there is a new line character which is /n. So cout, so I'll just write down in the chat so that everybody sees. So cout, if you use cout/n, it is going to give you a new line character. But what you don't want possibly is that you don't want A, B, C, C, D, each one of them on the new line. You want possibly A, B, C, D, B, C, D, B, C, D. So you should put your new lines properly. So clearly after A, you need to put a new line. Where will you put the other new lines? So Siddharth, maybe
Ma'am, like we can put it
after D. Yeah. So
after the
so
loop.
after the loop. So which loop is the
No,
there is
ma'am,
a
like
repeat.
we print B, we print this C, we print D, and after that, if we insert a new line.
Okay, so that is one place. That is also somebody else also. I think Sri Lakshmi also said that. Is that right?
Shruti from chemical.
Okay, Shruti. So sorry, I see some people's names popping up. I think that's the person who is speaking. Okay, so that is where you can put
So
in
we put it in
the.
the starting of the loop. It's the first line. The loop.
Okay. If you put it in the starting, then you will have two new lines. If you put it, if you have put a new line after A as well, right? So you have to be careful. Again, where do you, I mean, if you have not put in the new line after A, then you can put it before this thing. At the start of the loop. So there is no single answer, but you should, if you put it somewhere, I mean, if you put it after every character or if you put it after the C inside the repeat, then you will get some very weird answers, right? So it's a good question. If you want to print out A followed by BCD, BCD, BCD on each of these lines, that is, you want 6 different lines. There are different answers. You can put it just after the D. You can put it before the B, but then you should not put one after the A that you have already put in, which is outside the loop. Okay, so I hope that answers your question. Again, it depends on what output do you want, exactly what we had in the morning. So that brings us to the morning discussion, which is this print initial patterns. So now that we have this turtle trained computer, can we ask this turtle trained computer to print these simple text patterns that we had, right? It's much easier, and since it can print that ABCD string, it can also print this. So this is the first pattern that we had asked our friend to draw. How will we ask our turtle trained computer to draw this using the commands that we now know that the turtle trained computer understands?
Hello, ma'am.
Yes.
Shall I try this one? Like.
Sure. Yes. Please go
First
ahead.
first we'll say repeat 4, and then we'll start a loop. In that we will see out repeat 8, see out asterisk / n.
Okay. So let's do the following. What I'm going to do is I'm going to share my editor with you, and you are going to tell me. I'm going to write it there. Is that okay? So that
Yes, ma'am.
everybody sees that. Okay. Okay. So please tell me if my editor is visible to you, and I will just. Yes. So. Okay, so I hope my editor is visible to you. I'm going to remove this turtle sim, this thing, because we don't need the turtle. So you said I need to do repeat 4, and then I should do see out. Yes. So should I do any repeat here?
Ma'am, we can.
Okay.
We can like repeat it 8 times and then just print one asterisk.
Okay, repeat 8.
And in the brackets,
Okay.
put one asterisk. See out one asterisk.
Okay. Sorry. Okay, so is this all? Shall I execute the program?
Ma'am, we need
Ma'am,
to
the-
slash
And
n
then we
Yeah.
outside the
Where should I
repeat.
put the slash n? That is the question. Shall
after
I?
the next
in
line,
the
ma'am. After the loop, after the 8 repeat loop.
Okay, so outside that, right? So it is
Yes, ma'am,
very
outside the
important to
loop.
understand where you are putting it. So I will just I'll just put it here, and I'll just run the command, run the program, and let's see what it prints.
Ma'am, the
Sorry.
screen again stopped. Like we can't see the screen.
Oh, okay. Okay, so is it visible now?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay, so yeah, so if I do this, which is and the program is executing, it's compiling and then executing. Yeah, so as I hope all of you can see that if I have put in the /n inside the loop, which is what I have done here, which you did not ask me to do, but if I did it, then I'm just going to print a vertical set of asterisks, which is not what we wanted. So this is a wrong place to put in, because it's saying that just print out 8 into 4, which is 32 asterisks on each of them on a new line, which is not what we wanted. So therefore, in fact, your suggestion was to print it, have the new line here, which is this. I'm not very good at this editor because I'm used to a Linux based system, but never mind. Okay, so let's see what this does. This is exactly what we wanted our program to do, which is print 4 rows of 8 stars each. So it's not a difficult program, but you see that the repeat has allowed us to do this very quickly. Of course, you could have also written the repeat repeat without this repeat 8, and you could have just written a line of 8 asterisks, right? So now I go back to my slides and I show both of these programs that I have written. One is with using a repeat 4, but without using a nested repeat, and the other is what you have suggested, which is the nested repeat with repeat 4 and repeat 8, and then the cout should be placed at the appropriate position, right? So this is what is our first pattern. What about the second pattern? This is the second pattern that we want to print out. How would you print it using the text turtle?
Can we declare variables in our code?
Sorry, I can't hear you clearly.
Can we declare variables in our code?
Okay, can we declare variables? So that is very good. So in fact, you will see that the only way at the moment, if you are not allowed to declare variables, I'll come to what is declaring variables, is that you will write cout with 2 asterisks, then cout with 4 asterisks, with 6 asterisks, and then 8 asterisks, which is as much as what you would have done by telling Vidushi that, okay, draw 4, but yeah, sorry.
The pattern and the question is 7 asterisks. The above.
Sorry, I did not get it.
Ma'am, the question that you have written, like in the red color, that has 7 asterisks in the third line.
Okay, so sorry, it is a typo from my side. It is supposed to be exactly what we had in the morning. So I'm sorry. It should be 2, 4, 6, and 8. I'm sorry if I have made a mistake. I'll correct this when I post the slides. But it should be 6 and 8. So then I think the code is what we want, right? So it still has, yeah, it has 6 and then 8 asterisks. So sorry about this. And thank you for pointing it out. So we indeed want to print exactly what we had asked Vidushi to print in the morning. But as you people have observed, we cannot use repeat the way we have used it earlier, because the number of asterisks in every row is not the same. In fact, it keeps changing, and we need a variable number of times that we want to repeat. And this is where this question that one of you has asked is very pertinent, that can we define variables? We indeed need to define variables, and we are going to do that very soon, but not in today's class. So what we will just conclude in this discussion what we have learned. We have seen a turtle trained computer which is fun to work with. It gives us a way to draw some things which will allow you to draw polygons and so on. In fact, I'll post a few nice patterns that students in my last offering have created, which will be fun for you to come up with and draw them yourselves. It will essentially require you to use the repeat command, which is a very useful command, and possibly a nested repeat. And this nested repeat can be useful, but we have to be careful. If we are not very careful, we may get patterns which we did not want, which can be interesting in themselves. But remember the precision that we talked about in the morning. This is going to be very, very important throughout the course. And as we saw in the last example, we need to define variables, and this is going to come up soon. So this is what are the learnings from the class in the morning. And now what I have is I have an exercise for you which you will be doing at home or as a homework exercise. But before that, there are some questions in the chat that I will like to see and answer. Yeah, so some of you have given me the programs for this. Okay, so yeah, some of you have written the program for this with a variable, which is fine, but at the moment I'm not going to discuss that. If there are other questions, so there are many chat messages. So if if I miss your question, please feel free to unmute yourself and ask the question. Okay. Okay, so when do we use the turtle? So it is just a very nice tool. When do we use the turtle? There is no specific this thing. Whenever you want to draw something that you want to show on the screen, you use the turtle. It's nothing like you must use it at this time. Whenever it is useful, you use it. If you don't want the turtle, you don't use it, and therefore you don't even need the turtle sim command. Okay, so yes, how to get the turtle? So what do you mean by how to get the turtle? How to get the get your computer to be turtle trained? Is that the question, Sham? Okay. Okay. So as I told, if you search on the online, and I'll post it on this thing. If you just search simple CPP download, you will get the link for Professor Abhiram Ranade's simple CPP package. You should be able to download it and install it on your machine. I have seen that most of you have a Windows-based machine, and you should be able to easily install it and get the same environment that I'm showing you. Some of you who have Linux-based machines will also be able to work with the simple CPP. So please try that offline. It is not necessary that you have it, but it will be fun to have it locally and try out a few things. Okay, so at this moment, I have something that you will do at home as a homework exercise. These are two things that you will do. You are going to look at this program and hand run it and tell us what it does. And you are going to again try to draw the picture on the right hand side and tell us how do you write a turtle program to draw this picture that you see on the right hand side. So these are some things that you will do as homework exercises. But before we wind up, I want to ask if there are any questions, and I had a few things that I want to ask you specifically. So are there questions related to what we have discussed here?
Ma'am?
Yes.
Hello, ma'am. Yeah,
Yes.
I just went out in the homework which you gave, ma'am. In the diagram, are the sides of the star and no, ma'am. Like basically, in one side of the pentagon we have like 4 divisions, ma'am. That image called, ma'am.
Sorry, okay. When you have a question about the pentagon, if I understand right.
No, the homework exercise, ma'am, which you gave
Okay.
just now.
Yes. Okay.
And
The
yeah,
homework
in that
exercise.
each
Okay.
side is divided into 4 sections, now, ma'am. Like
Sides. Yes.
each side of
Yes.
the pentagon. So are those sections of equal length or they're different?
That you figure out. I will not say anything. This the right hand side figure that you're seeing the
Yeah,
5 stars in a pentagon, right?
yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Yeah. So figure out what it does. I won't answer it right away. Please figure it out. It should look like the figure that has been shown here, right?
Okay, let's see.
And we can choose the lengths of the sides of star randomly, right?
I can't hear again. Rahul, is it?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, but I am unable to hear you.
Ma'am, what should we keep the sides of what length should we keep the sides of the star? I mean, these are not
You
equal
can
to the
decide. You
pentagon.
can decide the length of the side of the star. I am not going to measure that. That's not important.
Okay, ma'am.
Does it answer your question, Rahul? And was it
Yes,
Kannikeshwar earlier?
Hello, ma'am. I asked the pentagon size. I didn't ask the question.
Okay.
Like
Okay.
I'm Kanikesh, ma'am. I asked about the length sections.
Exactly. So you can assume any side, any length of the side of this. I mean, it's not important that it should be scaled to this. The figure should look like this.
Okay, ma'am.
Is that fine? Does it answer your question?
Yes, ma'am. Yes, ma'am.
Okay, great. Okay. Okay. So yeah. So are there other questions about anything regarding what we saw in the morning or now, or anything regarding the course in general?
Ma'am, will you upload the recording lectures today itself?
Again, can you repeat the question? I'm unable to hear you clearly.
Ma'am, will you upload the recorded lectures today itself or later?
Yes, I will upload the slides and the video today itself. Okay. Okay, what I want you, we have several departments and students from different departments, and all of you have seen some amount of so I'm going to stop sharing my screen because I think I'm done with this, but I'll turn on my video so that and yeah, so okay, so we have students from 5 different, not 5, 6 different departments, and it's really a nice thing that we have this diversity. We also have all of you having some amount of exposure to programming. So I would like representatives from each of these departments to say a few words about, I mean, it's just picking up about 5-6 people about what you are looking forward to learn in the course. I mean, all of you have done programming, but we are also aware that the programming that is taught in 12th standard has some gaps. So if each one of you talks about, I mean, we cannot give a chance in this large class to everybody, but if you have concrete suggestions, you can certainly email me and I'll be happy to take them, and if possible pursue them in the course. But I would like to take some I would like to take some feedback from you to see what you are looking forward to. It may not right now represent your branch, but just to get diverse opinions. So I will pull out, I mean, I'll ask out people from different departments, and one volunteer from each of you can say a few lines about what you are looking forward to in this course. So can we start with the AE department? Somebody from the AE department can speak out. It may be for you alone, but what are you looking forward to in this course?
Ma'am, I'm sorry to interrupt. I'm not
Yes.
from the AA department, but in the website for Simple CPP, should we download the novice version?
Yeah. For you're looking for the Windows, right?
Yes, ma'am. Windows.
Yes. The novice version is okay.
Okay, ma'am.
Yes. Okay. So somebody from the AE department, can you speak up and tell anybody? I mean,
Hi, ma'am.
matter you can. Yes. Hello.
This is Sri Lakshmi from Aerospace.
Hello, Sri Lakshmi.
Yeah, so then through this course, personally, I really liked computer science back in 11th and 12th. I really liked coding. I liked the fact that like it made sense. Like you write a code and then it executes. Like there isn't much to think about. You write down and it's very straightforward, and I like that about the course. So when I came here and then I realized that the students who already studied computer science would be exempted, I was in a way, very sad because I wouldn't get to learn it. And we were actually really grateful for the fact that they've tried to create a separate sort of curriculum for us so that we'll get to learn something new as well, instead of just pushing us all to the standard CS 1100 course. It's just so nice to have the department listen to us and introduce new things so that we would also learn something new through this course. So
Yes. Okay, thank you. I would also say that the course will still be a C course that we will be teaching. Again, I would like to emphasize that the programming language matters little. Yes, you will be trained in one particular programming language, but at the same time, learning to program is less about programming language, but more about communicating to the computer effectively and precisely, understanding the commands. That is what was the message in the first two lectures. So yeah, I'm happy to know that people are not disappointed being forced into taking the course. So nice to know that, Sri Lakshmi. Okay, and as we go along, if you have concrete things where people have struggled in their 12th, 11th and 12th, please let us know. If it fits well into the course, we will try to address it. Thank you, Sri Lakshmi. Yeah. Okay. Can we have one student from the BE or BS department? I mean, we can have two as well, time permitting, but to begin with one. Somebody from the BE, BS?
Hello, ma'am. I'm Kritika from
Yes.
BE.
Yeah.
I'll also agree with Sri Lakshmi when I was kind of sad when we found out that we were exempted from CS. So I'm also looking forward to maybe learning new stuff, new algorithms. And I learned C++. So I'm looking forward to learn the difference in syntax between C and C++.
Sure. Okay. Yeah. So again, a very nice point. We will be touching very briefly on algorithms. Designing algorithms will not be a part of this course, but at some points where the design of an algorithm comes in, I'll be happy to point it out. In fact, I do work in the area of algorithms, so I love it. But at the same time, design of algorithms is not a part of this course. The course is about programming, and we'll emphasize on that. But algorithms will come in at some point. So yes, sure. Okay. Somebody from CH department.
Hi, ma'am. I'm Gregory, CHCR.
Yes. So
Am I
is
audible?
it Gregory?
Yeah. Am I audible?
Yes, I think you are the class representative. Had you written to us earlier?
Yeah. I have written a
Yes.
mail.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yes.
so for me, I had also took CS in 12th standard, but as we didn't have board exam, we had covered most of the topic, but there was a bit lag for us, and many of us forgot about some topics. So I think with this starting, we could brush up those concepts well and like finish. Not much emphasis on the topic that we have already learned. Just recap those first, and in my opinion, it's better to learn new things that weren't in the 11th and 12th syllabus. And I think this would be like good for us, because if you are like planning to learn some language or something on our own, so this will be like a starting, like after so much break, starting and with the CS, be better for us.
Okay, sure. So are there specific things that were not taught well, you think, in your or you did not, or you found them challenging? And if there are such constructs or some things that you found, some topics, let's say, then
I had studied C++ language, so now we are studying C. I think the most of the +1 syllabus is mostly easy and most of us have got it, but +2 syllabus is more higher one. So in that, like most of the thing was classes, and I don't know. I don't think in C there is classes. So is there
Yes,
classes in C?
we won't be covering classes. It won't be we
Yeah.
won't be covering classes. But the depth of the or the treatment, the depth of the treatment in this course will be completely different from possibly what you have seen in your +1 or +2. So
Yeah. Then
hope we
some
won't.
other like difficult topic we had was like data, like stack, linked list, and those things. That was the other difficult topic.
Sure, sure. Okay, we will try to place emphasis on those. Okay.
Okay.
Yeah. So I am seeing the chat messages also. I will look at them closely. What about somebody from the? Thank you, Gregory. Somebody from the ME department. Mechanical engineering. We have a large set of students from the ME department. So. Some volunteer?
Yes, ma'am. Hello, I'm Aishwarya.
Hi, Aishwarya.
Okay, so even I had C++ in 11th and 12th, and like how Gregory pointed out, for me, that stack, linked list, that part was a little confusing. And yes, 11th was easier. And personally, from this course, I'm hoping to gain more, in-depth knowledge of how coding works, because I felt I didn't really get that out of 11th and 12th.
Sure, sure. So that will, in fact, be the emphasis on the on in this course. It's not about learning too many constructs or fancy things, but how does it work? How do we think about problem solving using computers? Coupled with the C language, that is the main emphasis of the course. Sure. If anybody of you, I mean, the people who are speaking are volunteers here, but anybody who has suggestions are free to write at appropriate times, anytime during the course. Anybody from the MM department? Yeah, thank you, Aishwarya, for your feedback. Yeah.
Hello, ma'am. I'm Ishtartha from MM.
Hello.
I'm Ishtartha.
Hello, Ishtartha. Hello. Yeah.
Like I learned Python language in my 11th and 12th. So I'm looking
Okay,
forward
very
to learning C language. Like I don't have much idea about it. So I'm just curious about this. That's it. That's the only thing I'm looking forward to.
Okay, great. We'll, you will be certainly learning all the basic constructs of the C language and in a lot of depth. Yeah, sure, Ishtartha. Thank you for your feedback. Okay, anybody from the NA? Yeah, you wanted to say anything? Okay, anybody from the NA department?
Hello, ma'am. This is Harshit here.
Harshit, hello.
Yeah, ma'am. In +2, I had Python. And first thing was that because of JEE preparation, I did not focus much on CS, but I loved it. Like 11, 12 helped me develop a coding brain. And the second thing was I know basics. I know basics of coding well, but in some advanced topics like in our course, I got stuck in that. Secondly, when I come to another languages like C and C++, and when I compare it to Python, I found that it has a very complex syntax system. So I was not able to get myself to learn those languages. So I see this course personally as a head start to get into another languages.
Okay, great. Thanks a lot, Harshit, for your feedback and suggestions. Okay, so what I see is, yeah, we have a diverse set of students, even though all of you have exposure to programming. So we need to, we have also a challenge at our end to make sure that the course remains interesting as well as not too challenging for all of you. We'll try to make sure that it is pitched at the right level. So in this context, I would like to just state that in tomorrow's lab, what we are going to do is we are going to give you to do 3 programs which will be done in which have to be done in the C programming language. Tomorrow's class will introduce you to some of the things. All of the things won't be introduced. it is just to see where the class stands in terms of exposure to C programming, because currently the class is very large. So I cannot take feedback the way I took it from 6 students. So we will get a sense via the assignment that we give. The assignment is ungraded, but at the same time it will allow us to see where all of you are with respect to your exposure in C programming. And so please make sure that you attend the assignment, even though it is not a graded assignment for tomorrow's lab. So with that, this is what I had to say for this class. We will meet tomorrow at 9 o'clock in our regular lecture hour. So I'm going to stop the recording now. If there are further questions or anything, I will take them up. Okay.
Hi, ma'am. This is